and you resolve it in the youth council. In the youth council, it's 5 leaders that sit there, right? The pathfinder, the adventurer, the young adults, the ambassador, and the church elder. It's 5. So if you go into the church board, already you are the majority. Already all 5 of you have already won the vote because you are the majority. So take through some of these matters through the youth council and make it a resolution that the youth council is resolved that we take an emotion A, B, C, D, and 4 like that. Okay? I want to get into my presentation.
At the end of the day, if the church board doesn't have an interest,
Alright, actually I think we must understand the purpose of having a baptismal class. Baptismal class, to my own understanding, maybe to the church where I come from, is for people who are joining Adventist church, maybe at 16. Then they will go through that baptismal class because they didn't get these fundamental beliefs from adventurers. But once a child reaches 13 and decides to be baptized, the name goes to the church board, and the church board will vote for that name. So if you go to an elder who tells you the theory, it's not the church, don't blame the church. But if you take the matter of the church board, then the church board says, no, that's where is the wicked you blame the church. But when an elder tells that, no, this one is not ready, it didn't come through me. It's the elder who says so, but not the church. So it's wise to take the matters through the church to the church clerk, then church clerk to the church board. Baptismal class is for those who us at the age of 16 and above because they didn't even find time to have about the fundamental beliefs.
That's a good point, eh?
Alright, I think I agree with the brother.
Stand up.
I agree with the brother, and I think we lose it, like the doc earlier was speaking about how we spend so much money for the campaign. And what happens when we're having campaigns is at the end of the campaign, or the end of 2 weeks, at the end of 1 week, whatever it is, we have the baptismal without a baptismal class. How come? And yet when we have children that have been groomed from adventurer to pathfinder and they know the truth that they cannot be baptized, they say, I want to be baptized tomorrow.
Yeah.
Amen. I think we agree that we can start the class. We've made the point, we've agreed with it. Right? Let's start the class. So, we want to talk about insurance as part of risk management, right? We have all seen the form that have come from the conference, say you must write the name of the church and the number of children. Have we seen that form?
Yeah.
Right, so this is the form that we're talking about. Right?
Yeah.
What does it mean to us after we have completed that form? What does it cover? So all that on that particular form, all of us belong to one class, which is class 1. Now, it's the division that chooses which class they fall under, right? It's the division that chooses which class we fall under. So our division has chosen class 1, that we fall under class 1 in terms of the medical claims or the insurance, right? So we can't choose another class because it's chosen by the division. So we guys just forward our names, right? And the number of children. But what happens behind closed doors is that the division will take money from the union to pay for this. The union will take money from the conferences. The conferences will take money from the local church. So we pay it very slowly in the background. That's why it looks as if it's free to us, but it's actually our local churches are being taxed at the bank.
How much? How much?
I'm not getting into how much, but I'm just saying that's how it comes.
So that we can top up.
So it covers, what does it cover? All active members of the club, whether you're a councillor, you're a staff member, all active members are covered in there that participate in any approved program, right? Any approved program, you are covered. And it mainly functions to us is travel insurance. Mainly, it covers as travel insurance, but if there are any incidences, the insurance is able to cover. What does the cover, what is covered under this insurance? You are covered under the following death, you are covered. You are covered in terms of bodily dismemberment, you are covered in terms of an accident, you are covered if you are traveling from a camp to and from, you are also covered for the loss of your eyes, one or both, you are also covered for permanent physical impairment. Right, so if it happens that you are covered, if it happens that you experience death as a result of you participating in a particular activity that is church sponsored. So what it means when it says church sponsored, it is a program of the church that has been approved by the church board. That's what it means, it's church sponsored. Right? So if the program has been approved and there is a child that suffers death, loss, or any of those things happen to them, you are able to claim from the insurance. Okay, so what happens if I'm injured in local church? We haven't traveled anywhere, but I'm in local church. So the church has got a general liability insurance that the unions pay for and the divisions pay for to the general conference. Right, so all those injuries that can happen in local church are covered not by that insurance that you complete, but are covered by the church under the general liability insurance. Okay, here are some few scenarios how the policy functions. Okay. On his way to a pathfinder camp, the pathfinder leader, Arno, is involved in a cart, then has broken 2 of his ribs. During a camp, pathfinder Lungi's head is injured, and she suffers emergency medical, scar that needs attention. You are also covered. You should lodge your claim within 30 days from the date of incident. Are there any questions so far?
The previous slide, it talks about uninterrupted travel. What do we mean? Without interruption.
All right, interrupted travel. Now, if you have attended a few of our events, you hear someone say, by the powers vested in me, I now dissolve this congregation. Right? Yeah. So if you leave your home from here, right? Coming here, you are covered to come here, right? From this instance, you are covered. But if you leave your home, we expect you to go to your particular house. But if you decide to go and see Brother Donovan, that's an interruption, right? So if you decide to via. So you are covered from the doorstep. The moment that you leave your house, coming to this event, you are covered. If you come straight here, but if you go back Century City, you have interrupted the travel. Okay? Is there another question? I think you would have to come here.
Don't pull it further.
Brother Prince, I want to comment, with the fact that we send numbers of the clubs, like how many do we have? What if maybe in the middle of the year someone joins the club and that the number now will not correlate with the number that you have?
Okay. It's easy, that one. We only cover for the number of children you have sent per year.
Okay.
So if you've got 18 kids, you can't, there's no window to amend. So if you've got 18 kids, we cover those 18 kids. And make sure you write the number of 18 kids in your folio that you have as a register. If you cover 18, you cover for 18, unless the insurance calls for additional members during the course of the year, but we haven't heard that incident where they've called for additional membership. So far, we function with the numbers that they submit per year because it's a yearly insurance.
And what's the implication of that? What's the implication of such a inability to update for the local church or for the local club? Does it mean that, therefore, if I have 18, I cannot take more? Just to make sure that, there's risk if you don't add.
Yes, if you take more than what you have insured for, actually when we encourage you, we encourage you to take the number of children that you raise and insure. That's what we encourage you to do. Any other one that has not been insured, you take them, the risk is on you.
But the gospel goes on every day.
No, we insure yearly, once every year. All right, guys, let's listen. Let's listen so we can have the information. Okay.
Tell Buza, in the using numbers to the YCOM office, it is not per quarter. So let's say you got a corner and then can you Akabiko, Akabuya, and then got joiner on me, but I keep on sending the number per quarter so that it records every quarter. So now I understand that you per year. So can you not have amendments to the camera or layer and say this one?
Okay, I think it's something that we can recommend.
Yes.
Right? It's something that we can recommend, seeing that we have children that join during the course of the year. Something that we can recommend. The challenge is the insurance department actually sits at the general conference. So what we just receive are policies from them. Okay? But there's nothing that stops us from recommending to them that this is our challenge and how can you guys help us in terms to sort out. I'm sure I will take it up with the division on that point. Okay? Guys, let's be quiet so we can hear.
As councillors from the beginning.
Okay. The answer is add everyone.
Yes.
Everyone, right? Add everyone that you want. There's also, this is just for us in the Pathfinder department, but there's also general liability that operates on behalf of the entire church. Okay? That if anything should happen in local church, what are the steps that we can take in order to be covered? So this is just specifically for youth ministries department. We're not talking about general liability that covers everyone else who's not included in the department. They are also insured under that option. Okay? All right. Now, the insurance that we're talking about only covers us in the Republic. Okay? So if you have seen posters for those that are going to Namibia, right? There's an option for insurance, right? So when you travel abroad outside the Republic, you need to purchase an optional insurance to cover you. This insurance just takes you within the Republic of where you are. Okay? So like we're going to the 2025 division camp in Victoria Falls, we need to have additional insurance. Okay? Auntie Moira, just tell me when it's time to stop. Okay?
What's the time?
All right.
You've got 25 minutes.
Left. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. She says, is the additional insurance provided by the church, or it's something that we must find ourselves? Now, when you look at the poster for the Youth Congress, there's always an amount that you can purchase, right? You pay your registration, you buy additional cover. If you pay your registration and you don't purchase, then you're not covered during the course of the travel in the events outside. So it is wise enough for you to, they always bring an option for you to purchase additional cover. Okay? Now, she says, is it only for resident or non-residents? Now, because the insurance is held in America itself, so they insure per conference, per union, the number of children, because when we claim in the US, and then they pay the conference back, and then the conference pays you. So if you're in Zambia, they use the same method. If you're in Namibia, they use the same method. So it's just the number of children. Because when you send in the information, right, the information is collected on one sheet as a conference. We send it to the union. Then the union collects it as one sheet. They send it to the division. Then the division submits it on our behalf. Okay. So they insure per division. Right? All clear as mud. Okay. Okay, we'll deal with that. Now, let's talk about this as part of risk management, okay? Now, this is what the insurance requires from us when we talk about children must be supervised at all times. These are the things that they're talking about. Supervision under that in this insurance is two elements, namely quantity and quality. They look at those two things, right? For you to be able to qualify for cover, when they send the questionnaire, when they interview you, these are the things that they are looking for. If you were to find yourself in a situation in which a participant was injured, what questions would you be asked about supervision? Here are some examples. How did you train the supervisors on what was expected of them? How did you tell them? Say, did you call the unit group and say, guys, or you actually prepared a document and sent it to them? Remember, we are talking about liability. So we are eliminating, trying to find who must pay the liability now, who must pay for this loss. Is it the church or it's you? So we are now eliminating to find who the culprit is, who's responsible. So as the director will ask you, did you train them? No.
Was the director trained?
Then it stops with the church says, okay, thank you. We have taught you these things at risk management. You didn't do them. You are now on your own. Okay? Then we become personally liable for these things. Was the risk management plan shared?
Is there any?
Did you inform the supervisors which children they were specifically responsible for? You're just going to be responsible to the children on the left. Yes. The child drowns and you ask the counselor, did you supervise them? No, but I was only responsible for the children on the left. Who was on the left?
It's too early, but I would like you to be the master guide.
So each counselor must know you're responsible for Peter, John, Lungi, James, every sheep. You are responsible for these kids. And you should never leave the kids out of your sight because you are now responsible for them. Did they know each participant's medical condition? Do you know the conditions your children have? The ailments? What kind of medication they take?
No.
We go to camp for you, or we go to camp, you don't know the children, you give them sandwich with peanut butter, one of them reacts because they are allergic to peanuts. So that's why on that particular form that we give you, on the indemnity form, on the consent form, the medical form, there's a question: what are you allergic to? What type of medication are you taking? Parents tell us, is your child suffering from hypertension disease? So that you collect